Greetings everybody from outside the US consulate in Admiralty on Garden Road, where in a tradition that has irked local and national authorities for some years now, the consulate is marking the 35th anniversary of the Tiananmen crackdown with LED candles in each of their windows. Now, to be honest, it's going to be quite tough to see this on a grainy live stream, but if you tune in the coming 10 or so minutes to our social media feeds or the website, you will see the flicker of candles in dozens of windows here in this huge complex opposite the Peak Tram Terminal in Admiralty. And it was only this morning that Chief Executive John Lee gave vague warnings, I guess, as to whether one can commemorate the Tiananmen crackdown in Hong Kong. Of course, up until 2019, for decades, hundreds of thousands of people would gather with candles themselves in Victoria Park in Causeway Bay, which is now being occupied by a patriotic carnival put on by over 2 dozen pro-Beijing groups. So one of the few places you will see open commemoration is by the foreign missions. 4 of them today have made gestures either with candles like this, the windows just beyond the security gate here, or the EU office is also doing the same, or they've made Facebook posts like Australia and Canada to remember the Tiananmen dead, when hundreds, perhaps thousands died when the People's Liberation Army moved in on the student-led demonstrations in Tiananmen Square. Now, of course, the consulate started doing this. They got a lot of criticism. It was even considered foreign interference in a fact sheet published by Beijing. Nevertheless, that probably obliges them somewhat to keep it up, because if they were to stop, that itself, I guess, could be seen as cowing. We're going to head over. We have some other staff over in Causeway Bay, if you stay with us. Now, as to whether this is legal or not, well, it doesn't seem the local authorities would have much appetite to intrude upon the consular premises. Not that they aren't allowed to prevent law breaking from occurring if this is considered legal, even, but because it would probably trigger a big diplomatic crisis were they to set foot on the EU office premises or the US consular premises. Already we have a bit of a repeat of what we saw last year in Causeway Bay, with some people being detained in what seems to be a sort of temporary tent that the police have put up for questioning, and then they are sometimes taken away in police vans. Unclear if they're actually being arrested. Nevertheless, if you stay with us, we're going to publish a big roundup shortly, and I'll be heading over there myself now. Thanks for joining us from Admiralty. That's the scene outside the US consulate that is displaying candles to commemorate the Tiananmen dead on the 35th anniversary.